Very good morning, students. Today we will see the experiment number 6, that is the behavior of the strut. Although as per the serial number of your essay manual, this experiment comes as a serial number of comes under the experiment number 8, but already we have covered the unit number 4, under which we have already seen the behavior of the column and the strut, their various formulae, okay, and the numerical based on the same. So that's why I have considered this experiment as an experiment number 6. Okay, so what we will going to do in this particular experiment is that this is a particular apparatus which is used in your laboratory to calculate the behavior, or you can say the buckling behavior of the column. Okay, so these are the four typical end conditions, okay, for which the behavior of the columns can be calculated. Okay, so for better understanding, I have selected one YouTube video. Okay, so you just go through that particular YouTube video first. Okay, so by this you can easily understand then how this experiment can be performed in your lab. Okay, so let us see that.
Very good afternoon to one and all. I am Sharan Siddiqui as an assistant professor in RDIT Bishop. Now today I am discuss about the end conditions of column. First I am going to discuss about the columns. Columns is a vertical member in the structure, and we have different types of load. First point load, second UDL, and the third is UBL, universal bearing load. Now these are the I am discuss about the end condition. We have four different type of end condition. First, both ends are fixed. Second, both ends are hinged. And the third one is hinged, second is free, and the fourth one is hinged and the other is fixed. Now, from here, I am discussing about this is the first end condition. The first end condition is both ends are fixed. You can see here both ends are fixed. This is the fixed point to pin up from both the points from upper jaws and the lower jaws. Both ends are fixed. And the second one is fixed. You can see here, and the other one is hinged. And the third one is both ends are hinged. Both ends are hinged. And the last column, the end condition for this is the one end is fixed. You can see here, this is the pin up, and the other part is free. You can see that from here it is a removable. When we applied load from here, it will move. Now this is the load. When we apply from here, it will look like bend. Now I am going to apply two papers. We have two papers. I am going to put like this at the behind of these columns to draw the structure. Like this. Now, these are the loads. This is the first column. First, both are in fixed. Now I am going to apply the load and add it load like this. You can see here the load is applied and the column will bend. Now I am going to draw the structure. This is the effective length. When we apply the load, the effective length will come, and the effective length for the both ends are fixed is L equals to L by 2. Now the second one, now I am going to apply the load. The column of one end is fixed and other is hinged. I am going to apply load like this. You can see here, when I apply the load, the column is bent. Now I am going to draw the structure. It will look like this. This is the effective length, and the effective length for both R and hinge is L equals to L. Now the last one is, both R and hinge, when we apply load, both and the load is applied from here to here, and the structure I am going to draw. Just like that. And the effective length for both R and hinge is L equals to L. And the last one is one end is fixed and other is free. The effective length for one end is fixed and other is free is L equals to 2L. Now I am going to apply the load. You can see here how to apply the load. Just like that. It is movable from one end and other is free. From here I am going to draw the structure. Just like that. Now come to first, both iron fixed, both iron fixed is L equals to L by 2. L equals to L by 2. Now the second one is, one end is fixed and the other is hinged. For this case, L equals to L upon root 2. And the third one is, both are and hinged, and the effective length for this L equals to L. L is the actual length of the column. Now the last one is this is the fixed and other is free. L equals to 2L. From here we will calculate the effective length. From this topic we have learned about the end conditions of the column.
So now, as you see in YouTube video, that he has calculated the behavior of the different columns. Okay, so by this way you can easily plot the particular effective length for the different end conditions. Okay, so here these are the apparatus which are used: graph paper, weight lead, shorts and containers which are used. Okay, and that we have already seen in YouTube video. So the basic thing is that the procedure, the column member failed not only by crushing but also due to the buckling. Okay, so this particularly true if the member is considerably long in as comparison with their lateral dimensions. So once the member shows the sign of the buckling, it will allow or lead to the failure of the member, and the load at which this member buckles is called as a buckling load or a critical load, which is less than the crushing load. Okay, so therefore we have already seen the Euler buckling formula. So this formula is applicable, that is P is equal to pi square EI by L effective square. When both the end conditions are pinned, then L effective can be taken as L, and we have to put this particular condition in this formula and we'll get the answer. Okay, the second condition is one end is fixed, other end is pinned, so L effective will be taken as L by root 2. So whatever the L value, these are L value we can obtain from the experiment that we have already seen in YouTube. Okay, so that value, that curved value, the effective value we have to consider here, and we have to calculate the L effective, and then we have to put this value in the particular formula. Okay, and we'll get the final value of the critical loads for the particular different load condition for the different end conditions. Okay, so here E is given as a modulus of elasticity, as steel material is used as a scale. Therefore, the modulus of elasticity is be considered as a 2 into 10 to the power 6 kg per centimeter square. So these are the procedure, already procedure we have seen in YouTube. Okay, so let us see directly the calculations part of the particular case. Okay, so let us see. Okay, so this is the particular experiment. Okay, these are the calculations part. Okay, so this is the calculation. L is 21 centimeter, width of the section is considered 1 centimeter. These all dimension you can directly measured from the apparatus. Okay, D is taken as measured as 0.2 centimeter. E is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 6, that is already given. Now we have to calculate the I. BD cube by 12, B is given, D is given. Okay, BD cube by 12 we can calculate. Okay, then next is P value, pi square EI by L square. This is the formula, Euler formula which is used. Now we have to use the 4 AND condition. First we have to put L effective is equal to L here, and we'll get the answer as 29.18 kg. L is equal to, then second case, L is equal to L by root 2. Here you will get the answer. Then L is equal to L by 2, L effective. Then fourth case is L effective is equal to 2L square. Okay, so these 4 conditions you have to put, and you can directly calculate this particular critical loads. These are the manual calculations. Okay, so here you can easily get your manual calculation by using the Euler buckling formula. Okay, now similarly here also these are the 2 conditions. 4 conditions are available. Okay, an observation table, critical loading and effective length. So here the theoretical value we have to put, here the practical value we have to put. Okay, whatever the load we have observed and whatever the theoretical value we are obtained, that will we can compare easily. Okay, for different end conditions. And these are the effective length. Okay, these are the theoretical, and these are the observed value of the length. Observed value of the length is one that we obtain after the after we plot the particular graph. Okay, or by effective length. Okay, after the deflection of the column because of the external loading. So these are the observed value, that is the observed value, that is the experimental value. These are the theoretical values. Okay, okay, so you can see that the behavior, this original length is somewhat different theoretically, and these observed value are somewhat different because of the buckling. The length, effective length of the member is also change or increase. Okay, so this is comes under the experiment number 6. Okay, so kindly try to understand this practical, okay, by this YouTube video, and solve this particular experiment under experiment number 6, and write down and make a PDF and submit this particular calculations under the experiment number 6 in Google Classroom. Okay, so thank you very much for your kind attentions. Thank you.